Welcome back. We're here to cover the Divine Feminine update for the new year. And for those of you that don't know, we have been doing some updates, and I'm happy to have you here, especially moving into this very dynamic 2026. Now, for those of you that don't know, I'm a psychic medium. I cover the astrology intuitively, and we are rebuilding this network to actually guide you through this year and beyond. Now, if you do want to join our website or want to book a reading, all the information is directly below. Now, without further ado, let's get into your energy update for this week. Now, moving into 2026 and especially pulling these cards, just looking upon them and knowing what is coming for us all at a very energetic and spiritual level, the first thing I was really noticing from this reading, was the crowning energy, but the overarching theme. And the one thing I was picking up psychically was moving into your spiritual mission. And I do think this is quite, a lot of times we talk about having a role inside the twin flame energy, actually moving towards an ascension process and becoming something quite important in the collective. For some of you, as you are doing this, you can feel quite apprehensive. And, the guidance here is in the context of this, especially if you are moving into this new year and you are feeling directly apprehensive. This card in the reversal is actually reminding me of that. Now, these are fresh beginnings, and it is like the Fool card in Tarot moving into 2026. And we have this card stating, enter the garden of delight. Now, when I actually intuitively think of that, it's about getting into your vortex. Now, this card drops down to a 10, which, very much this is the new beginning year. The card is actually in a reversal, so you could feel a little bit out of sync. It's okay. You're like a giraffe moving into this brand new year, and you're a little bit wobbly. For many of you, though, you are going to become this very bold version of yourself. So if you are feeling a little bit apprehensive, especially linking to the divine connection, where you're going in life, what things are going to be, there is that kind of subconscious energy flowing through you at this point. Now, the sacrifices you have endured through the past, this version of you is sort of spiritually going, okay? This version of you is having a major upgrade. And the sacrifices you made are going to be for a reason, but it's more the things you've already endured. Now, in your heart chakra, this huge activation for you, which I think is hugely dynamic, what you went through last year was to guide you to this point so that you can manifest your dreams. You are going to be a way shower. This is both inside your joint connection as well as in the 3D in a very physical form. It's almost like your guides are calling you. You're being called, you're stepping up. The people around you are looking towards you for guidance. Now, the way in which you do that is going to be very different to what you've done it before. And more than likely not in an enabling fashion, but in a supportive, vibrational, motivational setting. But the impossible for you in the heart space, it's about going into the heart space. Fear-based frequency tends to operate from the mind and the ego. And if you are getting into that, their advice is for you relating to your joint connection, relating to your mission. That was really what I was picking as the divine mission, is that you are moving into purpose and mission this year. They're asking you to not get in your head. The ego is blocking that progress. If you need to intuitively think, obviously we're going to do so. But from a spiritual point of view, the heart chakra is going to tell you the honest truth. Now, the things that you're not directly committed to are going to start shredding away. Now, if you had done a lot of that last year, that was preparing you for the here and now. If there are still those residue situational ships, it is directly going to be starting to be pulled away, moved, shifted, sort of compartmentalized so that the coast is clear for opening for you to move towards your divine connection. Now, many times, and I've said this especially in my own path, 9 times out of 10, there are a particular group of energies that will go through things before the collective. Now, if this has been the storyline that you have lived, more than likely you are the guiding light in that. So it could be that you are experiencing some things. You could be observing your counterpart. They may be turning into you to ask for advice and support. You also could see some things that they're directly going through at the moment that you already have been through. However, what you will find is, especially from what I'm tuning into here, there is a possibility that if there are some shake-ups, you will be ahead of the curve and it's actually guiding you effectively. So attempt to trust the process. But I do see this notion of sacrificial frequency and really caring, having this heart chakra activation, feeling very concerned about humanity, feeling very concerned about the people around you. We are moving towards that, but we also are having this belief system that we actually do need to care for ourselves also, because very similar to what I've said many times over, had a great debate in the stationers the other day, and we were having a chat in a group of us, and there was an individual that had said they wanted to go off on their path in a particular area. And I said, well, as they say, the hostess always says, put your mask on first and then you can help others, but don't go to helping them collapse and then not be there. So we really are needing to have that self-preservation and then, get grounded, then look into, okay, what can we do from here? And I think if you can take that process, you're not going to burn yourself out. But there also could be something quite surprising really popping up, and you actually could be psychically tuning into it as we speak. For some of you, this frequency might have been coming through last year, and the closer it gets, the higher the peak gets. But you are intuitively really shifting into this brand new frequency. Now, I'm telling you, you're going to be a teacher of some description. This is really this place at a foundation level. Everything you've learned is going to be placed into practice. You're also going to have the art of, oh God, why am I hearing that? That's really color bizarre. The art of advertising, but it's not so much in a working context. I think it's more to do with how you're showing up in the world and what you're actually projecting out into the world in a very positive way. It's the yeses and it's the nos. It's the how you are attracting counterpart back in an event, and any person for that matter. There is a gate. Okay, so you've entered into this vortex of a gate. Something you're working through at the moment, regardless of where you stand. Sometimes we don't. How do I explain this? The closer you get to moving into alignment of what you feel you need to be and who you are, it's not necessarily that things will be lighter, but I do think you're coming through a tunnel of a major breakthrough. And again, the sacrifice is more to do with what you're going to receive. I do get that there is going to be this frequency where you could actually be aiding people, especially with this outcome card. But your heart chakra, I'm getting a huge conversation pending for divine feminine and divine masculine. For some of you, I do think you could actually move into communication. Yes, this could be initially happening in the 5D. But I do have this feeling that for some of you, it's almost like it's mapped out in your minds about what you're going to say, how you feel, where you're going to go, and what you will and won't do. But you are looking to the light, and there is a big chapter for you. This big chapter might need a little bit of time for you to actually integrate and adjust to, especially as we do have these high and low frequencies as we are moving into 2026. And what I mean by that is there can be times where you directly are extremely 3D. You're in the working human body. Then there's other moments you're going to need to balance that vibration where you're going to need to be in the meditated state, in the disconnect and integrate state, which is something for many of you you're extremely experienced by. But I do think there is an involvement here with your counterpart, and I definitely think on a 3D level there can be very, very high movement levels where individuals are moving around like chess pieces on a board and you directly are assisting them. So I do want you to directly get your energy as grounded as possible, have faith in yourself. regardless of how you are viewing this situation at the moment, they're saying the way to connect in with your guides is actually to enter that vortex and to get into that quiet space so that you can hear what is being said. This, even at an intuitive level, what I am picking up is if you're trying to gauge whether a person is telling you a porcupine or a truth, I feel if you can move into that vortex, you are going to be able to see that person for light or dark, whatever it is, but you're also going to have the empathy and the love, and you're going to be able to navigate that situation correctly. Take care, and we're going to check in with how this is going next week. Now, if you do need any of the information, it is all hosted directly below. And yes, our website links, etc. We do have our Sage in a Circle sign up. If you do want to come through and join that network, we're going to be adding a lot of things this year. Fingers crossed, all things moving and flowing. And for the sign up, like I said, all the links are directly below. Otherwise, we will see you for the Twin Flame Path next week. Don't forget to check the masculine, feminine, and karmic third party.